At AppHarvest, our mission is to bring Appalachia into the next generation of agriculture and employ the hardworking men and women in the region. We will develop large-scale, high-tech greenhouses growing fresh vegetables for local communities in the U.S. The average U.S. meal travels 1,500 miles by the time it reaches your plate, and in many cases is imported from other countries. AppHarvest will be able to deliver our fresh produce to the Northeast, Southeast, and Midwest of the U.S. within a day's drive. Appalachia, we're coming home. All right, great. So as we're getting the slides up, I'm originally from Kentucky. I've spent roughly the last 10 years working in New York and D.C. And so Langley, who was up here for Summit earlier, I was actually with Jeff Rochester from the Nature Conservancy at that Summit event. So the night of the election, you've got 3,000 people on a boat in the middle of the ocean. I would say 99% of those folks were probably not planning on the election results going the way in which they did. Very fortunate to have been, one, speaking here, very brilliant folks here at this, and I was fortunate enough to be there. So you had Eric Schmidt from Google Alphabet, Quentin Tarantino, and will.i.am, all these other folks. I was invited by I was invited by Michael Chasen, who is founder of Blackboard, largest educational platform in the not just in the country, in the world. So it was there. My background is in solar development. So at the time, and up until recently, prior to AppHarvest, was supporting the Department of Defense under a White House initiative under the last administration, which was 20% renewables by 2025 for the DoD. So they saw the DoD, Department of Defense, as one of the largest electricity consumers in the U.S. If you could get them to consume 20% from renewables, you're really shifting the market. Spent 3 years supporting that initiative. Very fortunate to have landed that position, working in and out of the Pentagon. And for me, being from Kentucky, you got, move right along here, there's Appalachia. Kentucky and West Virginia. So I was talking to Jeff, Rolling Stone contributor, who spent quite a bit of time in West Virginia. We got the second and third largest coal producing states. For me, somebody in large-scale solar development, we have got no sustainable jobs. None, virtually none. There's a couple wind projects in West Virginia, and that's it. And so I spoke to Michael from the Sierra Club, and Jeff Rochester has been a huge supporter, and I can't, I wish he was here, he already had to fly out. But been a huge supporter thus far. And so when I was at Summit with Jeff, Aaron Brockovich, all these other big names were there, and I said, look, I'm going back into coal country, and we're going to figure out how to build projects. And so came to AppHarvest. So what is AppHarvest? You saw the video clip. I was in Pikeville last week. Pikeville, Kentucky. Here's the interesting part, and I don't know why people aren't building. I got to be honest. I think the war on coal, and this is what, again, Jeff, I'll probably mention a few of our conversations here. War on coal. It's a war on a rock, a physical rock, right? And it's very disingenuous, and it's easy to sit in New York. It's easy to sit in L.A. It's easy to sit in D.C. and declare a war on a piece of rock. It is hard to look people in the eyes, and it is hard to come in and talk to communities. So when I was in Pikeville last week, met with all kinds of coal folks, developers and miners, and my question time and again has been, how many folks in the environmental world, executive level, have you met with? And the answer time and again has been zero. So we've declared a war on communities, and these communities now, and we wonder why we have and look, I try to stay non-political, right? Jobs we're going to build, and we'll get to the greenhouses in a second, but I think there's a larger picture on just what, in my opinion, we need to be doing as an environmental community going forward, which is get brilliant minds like you, who the environmental community is so imaginative and can come to solutions so quickly. Please come with me to the heart of coal country, and let's reimagine on how we can reinvest in these communities, because if we can't, you're going to lose the swing state of Ohio, you're going to lose the swing state of Pennsylvania, you're going to lose the swing state of Virginia, and you will definitely lose Kentucky and West Virginia. So if we can't find a way to build a new future there, rather than, everybody said time and again, war is easy, right? You can drop and destroy, and that's easy. And I think making the argument against coal is a pretty easy argument to make. To rebuild in the heart of coal country, now that's difficult. So that's what AppHarvest, what my background at the DoD, it was, we did some of the largest solar projects in the Southeast at the time. We privately financed them. I was leading, working with our executive director who oversaw the portfolio, but the projects in Georgia, Fort Stewart, Benning, and Gordon, and projects down in Alabama. How can we take project development experience, bring it to Appalachia? So I was like I said, I was in Pikeville last week. Folks from the New York Times were there. They had so if you look at the New York Times 360 video, they have this new video where they do the drones with 360 footage on the front of the website. I think they're going to be doing something, in a month on our project. Was thrilled that they were there. And journalists, writers, people that want stories, come in. Please come in and let's highlight what's going on. I'm already at 2 minutes. So 2 minutes. We have we got Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. We got Governor Bevin, who's close with Trump and Pence. Everybody is in support of our project, okay? So at this point, we need the environmental community to come in and figure out how to build. Our project is on top of a reclaimed mine site, okay? So we got 1.2 million acres of reclaimed mine land in central Appalachia. Let's build on it. Let's put people to work. In our greenhouse, we're gonna put 140 people to work, highest paid position, $250,000 for a head grower, all the way down to minimum wage in our greenhouse is $14 an hour. So we're bringing and here's the thing, high-tech agriculture, this is not a technology play, it's execution. I'm in solar. What I said, this is solar 15 years ago. The solar deals have been picked over. Our environmental community talks about clean energy all the time. What we're not talking about is sustainable agriculture. So went and partnered with the best builders in the world over in the Netherlands. They've built 1,500 projects around the world. This is a project I visited of theirs over in Belgium. It's heavenly. So that's our facility. We're 1.8 million square feet under glass. A local paper did this. Cartoonist did this. Honey, I need you to Google red coal. So cause marketing, we all know it makes sense. Don't need to talk about that. Got this from the TNC. Come to Appalachia. I can put you on the Appalachian Trail. Let me put you in touch with, so I met with the University of Pikeville president last week. They're going to start a sustainable agriculture program. We have got to get great, brilliant minds, investors, all these wonderful people that we all talk to every day in our great communities. We got to get them into the heart of coal country, and we have to figure out how to work together and forget the war language. Can we stop war on coal? Just stop that. Let's reimagine, maybe reimagine whatever catchphrase we want to come up with. AppHarvest.co, and then you can find us on all that. So we haven't built a greenhouse yet, but we've been in the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, all kinds of great articles. I was with EDF last week. EDF is building the first solar project ever on a reclaimed coal mine site in eastern Kentucky in Pikeville, where I'm at. EDF said, and they're one of the biggest solar developers in the world, this is the biggest PR win that they've ever had this early on in a project. It's a huge win, folks. Corporates, Fortune 500s, whoever it is, let's figure out how to get you all into Central Appalachia. I would love to have you on our greenhouse, but if it's not our greenhouse, I will figure out how to put you all in touch with the right people so that we can build and put people to work in the heart of coal country. Thank you.